I never imagined 3 small words could hollow me out the way they did. Not tonight, Daniel. It wasn't just the phrase, it was the delivery. Her voice was flat, drained of warmth. Her eyes locked on the glow of her phone as though I wasn't even in the room. 11 years of marriage. And in that moment I realized something inside her had already left me. This wasn't exhaustion. It wasn't stress. It was indifference, and that cut deeper than anger ever could. That night, lying beside her, I stared at the ceiling while she pretended to sleep, her breathing carefully measured. My hand twitched with the urge to reach for her, but I didn't. Something in me had already broken. I didn't argue, didn't plead, didn't hold her close. Instead, I let the silence wrap around us while my mind replayed the signs I had ignored. The late nights at work, the way she'd turn her phone face down when I entered a room, the unexplained bursts of laughter at messages I wasn't privy to. By the time the sun came up, I knew I couldn't keep pretending. We had met in college, fallen hard and fast, building a life brick by brick. She was once my anchor, my safe place. Over the past year, though, she had started to drift. At first, I convinced myself I was to blame. Work had been demanding, and maybe I hadn't given her enough. But long hours don't explain secrets. They don't explain the walls she kept building higher. The morning after that hollow "not tonight," while she was in the shower, I picked up her phone. My hands trembled so badly I almost dropped it. She had changed the passcode weeks earlier, which only confirmed what my gut already knew. When she stepped out wrapped in a towel, she caught me staring at the lock screen. "Looking for something?" she asked, too casual. I forced a smile. "Just checking the time." Her lips curled in a faint, amused smirk before she brushed past me. That expression said it all. She wasn't afraid of me finding out. She was confident I never would. 2 weeks later, I stopped fooling myself. She said she'd be working late again, and something inside me refused to accept it this time. At 7:45 p.m., I sat across from her office, only to find her car already gone. I drove aimlessly until I spotted her silver sedan parked outside a dim Italian restaurant across town. Through the window, I saw her with a man I'd never seen before. She leaned in, laughing that laugh, the one that used to belong to me, the kind that made me feel like I was her only world. Except I wasn't anymore. My grip on the steering wheel tightened until my knuckles ached. For a split second, I considered storming inside and demanding answers. But a colder resolve took hold. I stayed put. I memorized every detail. His hand brushing against hers, the way she let it linger, the softness in her eyes that had vanished when she looked at me months ago. When they finally left, I followed at a distance and watched them pull into a hotel parking lot. That was the night something inside me finally died. The next morning, she kissed my cheek before heading out the door. I let her. My skin burned where her lips touched, but I stayed silent. From that day on, silence became my weapon. I gathered proof methodically, bank statements showing dinners I never attended, hotel charges, screenshots from her laptop when she forgot to log out. Each night she told me "not tonight," I made a note. Every "I love you" whispered before bed became another lie I filed away. The confrontation came sooner than I expected. One evening, while she cooked, her phone buzzed on the counter. Without thinking, I reached for it. She lunged across the room, snatching it before I could even glance at the screen. For the first time in months, I saw genuine fire in her eyes. Not love, not fear, but anger. "What the hell, Daniel?" I stared at her. "Who is he, Claire?" Her face went pale, but she recovered quickly. "You're imagining things." "Am I?" I asked softly. For a heartbeat, I thought she might confess. But then she turned away, dismissive. "I don't have time for this." That was the moment I realized the marriage wasn't broken. It was gone. That night, while she rolled away from me in bed, I whispered goodbye. She didn't hear me. Or maybe she didn't care. Before dawn I was gone. My bags had been packed for weeks. I'd already spoken to a lawyer, secured my assets, prepared my exit. All she found was a short note on the kitchen table. "Claire, I've known for a while. You chose him, so I'm choosing myself. Don't call. Don't try to fix this. It's over. Goodbye." I didn't wait to see her reaction. By the time she read it, I was hours away, driving toward a future without her lies. The fallout came quickly. Calls I ignored. Messages that shifted from begging, to tears, to blame. It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything. You're overreacting. But the one that cut deepest read, "You weren't there for me, Daniel." He was. As if my loyalty, my sacrifices, my love hadn't been enough. For a moment, I almost turned around. But then I remembered every lie, every "not tonight," every time she'd chosen him over me. Weeks later, we sat across from each other in the lawyer's office. She looked smaller somehow, eyes swollen, voice trembling as she reached for my hand. "Daniel, please," she whispered. "I made a mistake. We can fix this." I pulled my hand away. The woman in front of me was no longer my forever. "No, Claire. You made a choice. And so did I." For once, she had nothing left to say. It's been a year now. The divorce is finalized. Some mornings, I still wake reaching for her out of habit, only to find emptiness. The silence is heavier than I expected, but cleaner too. I've started running again, something I abandoned years ago. I see friends more often. I laugh again. Slowly, I'm learning that goodbye isn't the end. It's the beginning of something else. And if I ever hear those words again, "not tonight," they won't be met with silence. They'll be met with honesty, with walking away before the lies can take root. Because I've learned the hardest lesson of all. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say isn't shouted in rage. It's whispered, final and unshakable. Goodbye.